So this is paintless dent repair is what they call it. PDR, paintless dent repair. Now, this thing's got little dings all over it, and there's different ways to fix it. The whole idea with paintless dent repair is to take the dent out without doing any paint work on it. Means you fix the dent, but you do not paint it. Well, there's a lot of different tools for that. That's a tool, that's a tool. All these tools, they all do the same thing. It's just from different angles, and there's probably 100 different rods that you can use for this. And they all come from the back side to push these dents out. And everybody tries to jump in and just push it out. This is a really slow process, and most people don't have the patience for it. Because the goal is to get it all the way out perfectly. And you can't do that fast. It's a slow process. So you've got to figure out which one of these tools is going to be able to come through somewhere on the back side and pry to get the dent out. There's also other tools that you can use to do the same thing. These are glued on, and you use the hot glue gun right here. And there's all different sizes and shapes. You've got to get something like, you don't want this big flat wide one for a little bitty small dent, because you need to get down inside of it. But these glue on, you let them glue, you let them dry, and I'll show you how this. There's two ways that you can pull them. You can pull it off with this, and this just slides over the top of it. And then you just use it to bump the dent out, pulling out. Whenever you're done, if you think you get it out, you use a particular solvent, and you pour it around the edge of it, and it'll release the glue without tearing anything up. And it doesn't hurt the paint. The other method is to use this if you're on a surface that you can do it. And you squeeze, and it slowly starts to pull the dent up. These aren't, they're good for certain things, but for most of these dents, you're going to use these different pry bars. They've all got different shapes. Some of them are round, some of them are flat. On dents that are sharp like that, little bitty dents, you want something fairly smooth. You don't want something that'll poke on it. But the trick is to get behind it. If you can't get behind it, there's a way to get in over here on the sides. You can actually drill a hole if you have to. And when you get done, after the job's done, and you'll see a lot of cars, even newer cars, that have got, you'll open the door and you'll see this on the side of it somewhere, and they're just little black plugs. So if you had to drill a hole, you find a plug that fits that hole and you push it in. That's not ideal. You want to use existing holes if you possibly can, but you can't always do that. So we're going to try to push a few of them out. I'll push on one. Let me get a bar that I like. And like I said, every dent's going to be different. You've got to find somewhere on the back that you can pry off of. And you've got to figure out where it's at. And if you push too hard, you'll put a dent going outward. So this is something this takes a lot of time to play with and get used to. And it's a specialized deal. You can go to school for this. And there's guys that's all they do is this, paintless dent repair. And they've got all these tools. Their job is, they chase storms. So like right now, the hurricanes, that are going through, they're going to tear up a lot of cars, and there's going to be, you wouldn't think about it with a hurricane. Hail damage is what they usually do, but also during a storm like that, you have limbs and trees, and everything's beating up cars. And so those guys chase storms. They may live here, and if there's a hailstorm in Georgia, they may drive to Georgia and work down there for a month and going around straight doing nothing but fixing these dents. It's a real specialized deal. It's not for everybody, but there is good money in it. And once you get really good, which takes a lot of time, there's no end to the work. There's always work to do.